So yeah, among the things you talked about right now is education. And the conversations we've been having the past few days, I guess you realize I'm so concerned about the education system, not only in Nigeria, but Africa at large. I think you also heard me talk about this with the King. And in my opinion, I don't believe the education system we have is helping Africa as a continent. Now, I do not know how Nigeria is, but considering to the different African countries I've been to, I've echoed this. In your opinion, what do you think about the education system? Particularly not only in Nigeria, maybe now.
Quite frankly, I'm one man who have always argued that the problem of Africa has nothing to do with any foreign intervention.
Yes.
Neither has it to do with people who think we're being exploited or anything. The problem of Africa is Africans. Africans can solve it. We are not forced into anything. The education we get is Western education.
Yes.
For me, it's okay. The values are all societal values. It is not the education that we get that made people demand money from you at the airport. It is our values that made it. That education is the same education the Asians received, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Indonesians. But they go back and bring in their own value system and said, you can't do this, you can't do this. It is not the education that is making us unproductive. Let me use the example for Nigeria. When the colonial masters was here, I can use train from Lagos to Kafanchan in the north. I can use train from Lagos to Kano. These facilities were there. Since they left, the facilities is gone. They didn't go with it. It was destroyed by Nigerians. I just showed you something built in River Niger yesterday by the colonial masters. So they didn't stop it. So for me, I disagree, and I say with all sense of responsibility, they were not the people who destroyed it. It is us. And I don't believe in blame game. The education is not our problem. There's a lot we can learn from the education. The more educated the society is, the better the society. But the society, the educated mind, has to also be, or the educated person, has to be also a person who is thinking right and doing the right things. Has to be a person of integrity, character. Before the education works.
That reminds me, there was
so educational qualification for me is not a measure of integrity or good character. So if people go to school and do the wrong thing, that doesn't mean that education is wrong. What is wrong is the person.
Is the person.
So we need to go back. It's one of the reasons why I decided to return our schools when I was governor to the missionaries who the original owner, because I want them to impact discipline, value into the educated mind. The person who, like I said, who asks you to give him money at the airport, that he doesn't, nobody cares. He's an educated person. He spoke to you in English.
Yes.
So he's educated.
Yeah.
But he's now living a valueless life. Where even if he had need for that, he would have said, oh, maybe help me.
Yeah.
and do it quiet. But
Yeah.
it's not even, then become,
Yeah.
so that has nothing to do with education. It is the educated mind that has a society. I always say, human infrastructure, which is education, is far more fundamental than physical infrastructure. It is the education that helps people to build good infrastructure, good bridges, good roads, railways, everything. But I'm saying that everything that we were left with had been destroyed by us.
What about education in terms of history? In my opinion, I don't believe people can protect something they do not know about. When you don't know something, it becomes very difficult to love that something. So education in terms of history. Now you've explained the other kind of education, and it's understandable. Like if someone becomes a doctor or a nurse, it's their integrity that makes them a good doctor. But then the historical part of the education, what do you think about that? Because, hold on a second. For example, I usually give this example. Most schools in Africa teach a lot about Hitler. Not that there is anything wrong with that. But they teach less about King Leopold II, a man who murdered almost 25 million Congolese. Do you think that is proper?
It is for us. Again,
Yeah.
it is not the people who gave us education.
Yeah.
It's for us to bring that aspect into our own education. It is not them. They are telling their own story. We should bring our own story into our history. Those who are telling you about Hitler
Yeah.
are those who are telling you about their own story. You must be able to tell your own story.
Yeah.
I can come and tell a story of a village. Can I?
No.
You will only tell me about your village.
Because I know my village.
Thank you. So it is not for me to bring my own village into the conversation. So we need, and that is where our leaders must come in. Our leaders must come in. But what our leaders is doing to continue to build this slave mentality and blaming mentality. That is why when you have an African leader, he tells you, oh, he's campaigning to be something, and when he wins, or the people voted him, he will start reminding them that when he came in, things changed. What changed? You knew things were bad when you're campaigning.
Yeah.
So it's the role of a leader is to always find solutions. It's always be somebody who is sacrificing, carrying the people apologetically whenever there's a mistake and everything along the line.
Oh.
So it's for us to tell our own story. Nobody is going to come here and talk about what happened, even if there's incomplete story
Yeah.
of what happened in Nigeria before independence.
Yeah.
Nigerians can bring it into their history.
So it is the responsibility of Africans, especially leaders and those who care about Africa, to teach our younger generation about their history.
Yes. I told you about going to repair a facility yesterday,
Yeah.
where I said the first midwife was produced.
Yes.
I wasn't told that in school.
Oh wow.
It wasn't part of my lesson in school.
Yeah.
It was a story told to me by somebody. And I investigated and it was true. So I kept it at the back of my mind. So we need to tell our own story.
It is important.